Hi class, this is Miss Cook. In this video we're going to talk about polar coordinates. So to start off, to plot a point in polar coordinates, we first need a ray that we call the polar axis. So the polar axis, we want to think of it as a horizontal ray that extends to the right, sort of like the positive x-axis of your xy Cartesian coordinate system. The endpoint of this ray is called the pole. And a point P in the polar coordinate system is represented by an ordered pair, r theta. So we refer to this ordered pair as r comma theta, and we call this the polar coordinates of P. So r is going to be a unit, and theta will be an angle, and we're going to use the units and the angle and our pole to plot a point in polar coordinates. It's really not too bad. It's fairly straightforward, but there are a few things to keep in mind. So we're going to just jump into some examples here. So here I have two examples, A and B. The first example here, I want to plot the polar point, that's the ordered pair 2, 135 degrees. So I'm going to start with my polar axis, which is again that ray that extends to the right. Again, I kind of think of it as the positive x-axis. So now I want to, from that ray, I'm going to first make two little tick marks because my units there are 2. Now I want to find a point that is 2 units and also 135 degrees from the endpoint of this ray. So if you think of our unit circle, 135 degrees is sort of halfway in between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. So it's sort of right about here-ish. So then I'm going to create another little ray that extends 135 degrees from my polar axis. So now I drew my little angle here at the 2 units because that's going to give me roughly 2 units on the ray that is now 135 degrees at the right angle. And so where I'm going to draw a circle in blue here, that is my point. So that is a point 2 units and 135 degrees. All right. So on part B, you notice that we now have a -3, 3 pi over 2. So this is going to work a little bit differently now that we have a negative unit here, -3 units. But I am going to first start off the same way. I'm going to start with the polar axis there that is drawn to the right. Now my angle is positive, so I'm going to treat that the same. And remember, if you look again at a unit circle, positive 3 pi over 2 radians is going to be the negative y-axis. Okay, so it points down. Downwards, vertically down. All right, so I'm going to draw that in a red. So there's my appropriate angle there. All right. But since my units are negative, that is going to affect the direction that I'm going to go. So instead of going 3 units down on my red ray that I've drawn here, I'm going to go 3 units up in the opposite direction. So really, I'm going up 3 units this way. All right, and so 1, 2, 3. I kind of cheated here, and I knew that 3 pi over 2 is going to give me a vertical line, so I did not bother with the units with the units like I did in part A. I didn't draw those first. Okay, so that is roughly how you plot polar coordinates. Now go ahead and try the checkpoint 1 for yourself.